Hi everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and I'm here today with a design team post for Scrapping for Less. I'm going to be using a couple different things for this card that I'm making today. This first one is a Hero Art 6x6 background stamp. It's called Starlight, Star Bright, and I'm using some Hero Arts ink to just kind of stamp all over it in different colors. No rhyme or reason why I was doing it, just to kind of get a good pattern going on, to get a lot of color in there in different areas. And the colors for this one I used were Pool, Deep Ocean, Soft Purple, and Soft Pool. And then for the second one, I used those four as well. But first thing I did was use an ombre ink pad by Hero Arts, and it's called Mint to Green is the colors. So that was the first thing I kind of put down there, and then I stamped in the layers. I did layers on top of it. And I thought this was really cool, and it worked out really well. I thought about heat embossing it, but I thought that might be kind of hard to make sure that I had the ink all down properly, so I decided just to go with this. So then I picked up some papers just from my stash, and then here I'm actually going to be doing something kind of interesting. So I stamped all of these because what I wanted to do was have the background for the sky, kind of a lake, and then some grass, and I wanted to have a silhouette of a tree line in the background. But I didn't really have anything for that, and with that solid tree stamp, I thought this would kind of work perfectly. So what I'm actually doing is kind of making my own silhouette skyline that I'm going to use, and then I'm going to cut it out with my scan and cut with that black paper. So I scanned it with the white one that has the image on it, and then when I put it through, I made sure I put the paper in the same place and ran it through the scan and cut and had it cut out the image on just the black paper. So I'm using that blue paper that I picked out. One was a piece of vellum and one was a piece of mulberry, and it was kind of cool. You can't really see it in the video, but you can see through the vellum, and the mulberry paper has kind of a weird pattern on it. It's almost like a fabric-y kind of paper, so you can kind of see it, and it gives it an interesting texture underneath it. And those were by Die Cuts with a View, both of those, the vellum. And then the greens were just part of, just something I had in my stash. So what I'm going to do is just kind of layer this up. I created, like I said, my skyline, and then with the green paper I just cut out a line just to make for, a wavy line. There was no rhyme or reason, to kind of have where the lake or the water ended and the grass began. And then I'm just going to glue that onto the background sky. And like I said, it ended up being kind of cool how the vellum looked over that fabric-y kind of paper. So what I did, because I wanted to give the grass some texture, and there's a grass stamp in the Sunny Studios stamp set, and this stamp set is called Critter Campout, and there's a grass line. And so I just took that green paper, and then I took Lucky Clover Distress Oxides, and I stamped all over it. Again, no rhyme or reason, just to give it some texture. So you get that lighter green in the background and then the darker green on the top, and it kind of gives it a cool texture. So I just cut off all the edges. I'm making an A2 size card, and this panel is actually 4 inches by 5¼ inches, so there will be a slight border over the card itself. So I had a couple images already stamped from the last time I made a card with this, and I just decided I wanted to use those. And then I did stamp the fire because I wanted to have that as well. So I'm using the Studio 71 marker still, and I used the grays. They're kind of, it's not like Copics where you're going to have different levels of all the cool grays or all the neutral grays. So you kind of have to mix and match. So I mixed and matched neutral grays and cool grays for the little skunk. And then for the fox, I used some pinks, almost pinky oranges, and some light browns for the fox. And then just the blues and the oranges and yellows for the fire, and then brown for the wood and the guitar. So that's kind of what I did with those. there isn't a whole lot of thought process going into this coloring. The images are pretty small, and like I said, it's not the same as other types of alcohol markers where you have three very specific, groups that can go together and kind of blend out well. So you got to kind of play with these to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work and how far apart in the color scale they are. But you can come up with some pretty good colors and some pretty good blending colors. So once I get done with this, I am just going to cut those out with my scan and cut, and then I am going to just kind of piece the card together. So it's pretty simple card, but I love the background. I love the sky background. The stamp is really cool. I think with all of the different papers and stuff that are out there, I think this one's kind of cool because you can do whatever colors you want. You can make it however you want, and it's really not too difficult. I just glued on those images onto there. I did end up taking the Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen and I put it all over the stars, every one of those little dots on there. And you can't really see it in the video, but it does sparkle pretty nice. And then I also put it in the water so it gives a shimmery type of look on the water, but I didn't do the entire lake. I just did kind of the part leading down around the images of the critters. And then for the sentiments, I used some Paper House stamps, or not stamps, I'm sorry, stickers at the lake. And I used that sentiment, this is the life, and then on the inside I put life is better at the lake. And then I thought we could use gel pens or some silver pens or something for that. So that's it. That's my card for today. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And thanks for stopping by. Take care.